This week on the street, the hard facts behind crumbling listed properties.
£100,000.
You are joking.
No.
To restore just that?
Just that.
Finding solutions for community transport and getting to grips with man's best friend.
There's a new bill, and that would make an offence for a dog owner not to clear up.
Tonight at 8 with BBC2 on the street.
Something fishy now on BBC2, and there's nothing coy about it.
Deep in the heart of the rolling English countryside lies an ancient, overgrown little pool, not much larger than a farm pond and not unusually beautiful. But we have monsters living here. Giant carp, engaged in enthusiastic courtship. These carp were stocked here in 1934 and have grown to such huge proportions that this little pond, called Redmire Pool, has become a mecca for carp anglers worldwide, with fishing stories to out-monster Loch Ness. In fact, so many legendary carp have been seen and caught in this pretty little pool that it has become quite historic. Chris Yates is a bit of a legend himself, for in 1980 he was lucky enough to catch a record carp of 51.5 pounds, right here, which is extraordinary, because Redmire looks too small to produce such a huge fish. Add to this the 2 previous record carp, also caught here, and you begin to believe that there must be some powerful magic going on below the surface. But then, not much is normal at Redmire.
Morning, Bob.
Hi, Chris, you've made it at last.
Chris is joining longtime friend and accomplished carp angler Bob James on a weekend's quest for one of the fabled monsters.
You had a good run down here?
Yes, a bit bumpy that last bit.
I heard the Kelly kettle rattling across the dam there.
The old bone shaker.
The last hour or so there have been fish all over this huge weed bed here, rocking it all around. Some lovely fish. Look at some of those commons down in there.
Superb. Those 4 fish together. They must all be around 20 pounds.
They're wonderful. Must be at least that. You can put a hell of a bend in my rod.
Amazing clarity of water in this light.
Yeah, it's particularly down that centre channel over there. Now how deep is it at that end of the lake, Chris?
Well, you've got about 5 or 6 feet either side of the channel, and it goes right down to about 11 or 12.
Right towards the dam?
Yeah, right towards the dam, and there's a point over there which is reputed to be bottomless.
Lovely.
Off the poplars.
Oh, I haven't seen any fish over there.
Look down here. There's two little baby moorhens.
Oh yes, look, a whole brood, just that.
Blown out of the water by that carp. Mummy's looking a bit concerned.
The carp are getting a bit too amorous for a safe moorhen regatta. I think. Look, they're running for cover.
That one behind. Look, that one now. Where the other 2 went. That's a big fish. 25 pounds?
Yeah, at least, I reckon. It's really wide across the shoulders. Look at that. Looks like it's been doing some weight training.
And here?
Oh, there's been some quite good ones here.
Clouding up.
Yeah.
That great
Oh, they're
cloud
definitely
of
feeding. Most of those out there are spawning. These are definitely feeding. Perhaps we can make a start and try and catch one of these. I'm keen to catch a fish.
See the
for it.
tail waving in that huge cloud of mud, bubbles coming out. Let's go and get the rod.
Yeah, where's the tackle? Come on, I've got to catch one.
Now, carp can be very difficult to catch. In fact, angling literature is full of accounts of their cunning. And only 40 years ago, the editor of the leading angling journal of the day advised anglers not to waste time carp fishing, as life was too short. How times have changed. For many anglers now catch large carp, and Bob is as expert as any. But he's never fished at Redmire before, and the old carp living here are some of the wisest in the land. So Bob will take advantage of all the major improvements in tackle and baits. Electronic alarms make the long wait for a bite more bearable, especially at night. Strong tackle is essential, for large carp have been described as potted dynamite. Carp have also been likened to salmon with brains. So Bob has developed a whole box of tricks to outwit them. Applying your brain to carp angling problems can lead to success, but you're a failure if the carp picks up the bait without getting caught. So this is attached to the hook by a fine hair. Bob's balding head suggests that he's used hair rigs too often, or maybe the carp made him tear his hair out. Anyway, this little gadget stops the bait sliding off the hair and allows the highly nutritional bait, which is full of flavour and appetite enhancers, anglers call them boilies, to hang free of the hook. This allows natural movement and efficient hooking. Well, sometimes. But Bob hasn't finished yet. A string of baits is attached to the business end with water-soluble string. This dissolves, depositing a cluster of free offerings around the hook bait, which Bob hopes will help win the carp's confidence. The whole fiendish concoction is cast into a hole in the weed where Bob thinks the carp might be hiding. Then it's simply a case of waiting. Bob's technique epitomizes modern carp fishing. Some of Chris's techniques are, well, different.
Okay, Kevin. This is the spot I had in mind when we were first talking about this. I say you're looking very fine today. A few weeks ago. Here we are. Oh, yes. You look lovely. Now, you remember what we said? You're looking a bit groggy. It's all too much for you, isn't it? Very exciting. There, better. Hold your hand. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to stand here, still as stone, and you're... That's it. And you're not going to move for 3 days while I scatter some bait round you and bring the carp up to you, get them to trust your wonderful, wonderful features. They can look forward to seeing you every morning when they come up to the shallow to feed. Take this to your little finger, point out a bit. There we go. Now, be a good boy. See you in 3 days. Scatter a bit of bait round you. Yeah, lucky beans. If a kingfisher lands on you, try not to smile.
Carp fishing, even for Kevin, can be a waiting game. And normal folk imagine this would require much patience. But patience is a virtue required when time goes slowly. In fishing, time goes too fast. Isaac Walton described fishing as the contemplative man's recreation, and there is much fine literature to contemplate while waiting for a bite. One favourite writer is B.B., who penned many lovely words about fishing and described the carp's mystery and elusiveness, for he was haunted by the monsters he tried to catch at Redmire. He wrote, "In the heat of noonday, I have cruised in a punt upon the surface of that small, fathomless pool, and looked far down, among the waving weed cables, into those mysterious depths.
and I have marvelled at the broad netted backs stirring far below, and been made to feel that no skill or patience on my part will ever bring such fabulous monsters to the bank.
It was a lovely book, but the carp drove him mad, for in all the years he tried, he never did catch one. Chris is hoping he might improve on BB's luck by using one of the most exciting techniques of all for catching carp: stalking. It was Isaac Walton who wrote, "Study to be quiet," and creeping stealthily within range of feeding fish might take you close enough to your intended quarry to be able to select the fish you want to catch. This is how Chris caught his record 50-pound fish. But today, he's hoping for a mere 20-pounder. Still a big fish, of course. A target like the 4-minute mile, or 180 in darts, or an eagle in golf. But catching a carp is far more enjoyable than that. For when a fish approaches the bait, it has a choice to take or not to take. Angling's wonderful unpredictability. So fishing is conducted under a continuous air of tension and expectation. The ultimate test is time.